So now we'll start with this story, Salvatore. What is the meaning of Salvatore? Salvatore is an Italian word because I told you that the story talks about an Italian fisherman. So the setting is Italian setting, right? It is based on an island named as Ischia in Italy, which is a part of Italy. So first
And savior of the people.
Fine, you found it from somewhere. Googled it. Don't tell me you knew the meaning of Salvatore.
Ma'am, Google, same.
Yes. So Salvatore means, in Italian, Salvatore means a very kind person, a very kind-hearted or a very generous person, or you can say a savior, right? A person who does good to other people, right? Filled with generosity. So that is the meaning of Salvatore. And this character, Salvatore, about whom we are going to talk about in this story, he possesses all these qualities. He is a very kind-hearted, generous person, right? Which we'll come to know in the story. I wonder if I can do it. I knew Salvatore first when he was a boy of 15 with a pleasant face. Now, this paragraph contains the description, the physical description of Salvatore, which is very important. So you have to learn it. So the author says, I wonder if I can do it. What he's trying to do, we'll come to know later on in the end, right? So the first line of the story tells us that the author of this story is attempting to do something. He wants to do something. And still he's not sure whether he'll be able to do it successfully or not. So he says, I wonder if I can do it, whether I'll be able to successfully do whatever I want to do or not. And then he starts. The next line he says, I knew Salvatore. So he's trying to say something about Salvatore, trying to tell the readers something about Salvatore, and he is not sure whether he'll be able to do it successfully or not. I knew Salvatore first when he was a boy of 15 with a pleasant face. So the author's first acquaintance with this person, Salvatore, was when Salvatore was 15 years of age, right? So he knew him from the time Salvatore was of 15 years. Boy of 15 with a pleasant face, a laughing mouth, and carefree eyes. Carefree eyes means he's a very happy-go-lucky kind of a person. He was not worried. He didn't have, his eyes didn't show any kind of worries or stress or tension. He used to spend the morning lying about the beach with next to nothing on, and his brown body with a thin was as thin as a rail. Now, which figure of speech has been used in this line?
Simile.
Yes, simile has been used. Please don't answer together. Just raise your hand. Nothing is audible if you answer. Simile has been used. Where is the simile? As thin as a rail. Right? Now, what do you mean by rail? A bar made of metal is a rail. So, he used to spend. So, he could be easily found near the beach. He was a fisherman, so obviously a fisherman will spend half his life near the beach, right? Or on the beach, half on the sea, right? So he used to spend the morning lying about the beach with next to nothing. Next to nothing means he was scarcely dressed, right? With minimum amount of clothing on his body, with next to nothing on, and his brown body as thin as a rail. So he was a very lean and thin fellow, right? Not very healthy, not very plump. He was very thin in appearance. He was full of grace. He was in and out of the sea all the time. So being a fisherman, being the son of a fisherman, he was in the sea or out of the sea on the beach most of the time. swimming with the clumsy, effortless stroke common to a fisher boat. It should be boys, not boat. Common to the fisher boys. So this is something. See, fisher boys, they learn this automatically because they see their father, their relatives going in and out of the sea, swimming, and all these things. This comes naturally to them, right? So he could very easily swim in the sea and then come out of the sea with clumsy, effortless stroke. Why effortless stroke? Because he was so much used to doing it daily, day in and day out. He used to do it. So that is why it was something very effortless for him. See, anything which is a part of our routine or which becomes our habit, it's effortless for us. We don't have to put in extra effort, right? We put in extra effort to do the things which are not our habit, right? Who will read now? Miksha Shukla. Please read the next paragraph.
Scrambling up the jagged rocks on his hard feet, for except on Sundays never wore shoes. He would throw himself into the deep water with a scream of delight. His father was a fisherman who owned his own little vineyard, and Salvatore acted as nursemaid to his two younger brothers. He shouted to them to come inshore when they ventured out too far, and made them dress when it was the time to climb the hot, vine-clad hill for the frugal midday meal.
Okay. So scrambling up the jackpot. See, you in the first paragraph, you learn these phrases: carefree eyes, laughing bound. These are the things which you have to learn, because this entire story revolves around Salvatore. So Salvatore is something very important. Everything about Salvatore is very important as far as this chapter is concerned. So while writing your answers, while writing your long answer essay type answers, you will have to quote these phrases: a laughing mouth, carefree eyes, brown body as thin as the rail. So these are the important things which you can underline. These will be the keywords, right? Whenever you are describing Salvatore, you will make use of these phrases. Scrambling up the jagged rocks. Scrambling up means when you climb something using your limbs, hands and feet, climbing on a rock or climbing on a cliff very quickly. So that is scrambling. Scrambling up the jagged rocks. Jagged means, what is the meaning?
And when even rough surface sharp stones protruding.
I was not able to understand. Please repeat.
Uneven sharp surface.
Yes, right. Having a sharp, uneven surface is jagged. Right? So again, because he was used to doing it so often, so it was very easy for him to climb up the jagged rocks. Jagged means having sharp, uneven surface on his hard feet. For except on Sundays. Why were his feet hard? Because he used to wear shoes only on Sundays. And why on Sundays? Because on Sundays he was supposed to go to the church. So that was the only time when he was well dressed. And the rest of the time he wore next to nothing. Means minimal amount of clothing. Right? So never wore shoes. So shoes also was something which was worn on Sundays. He would throw himself into the deep water with a scream of delight. You must have seen this quite often, even if you go to Sangam and near Yamuna in the Allahabad, you must have seen boys jumping. They are also minimally clad, right? With minimum amount of clothing and jumping into the river. And when they jump, they scream. Right? It's very thrilling for them. So this is a common sight here also. So he would do this. Would throw himself into the deep water with a scream of delight. This is something which he used to do. His father was a fisherman who owned his own little vineyard. So, vineyard is a place where you grow wines, especially grapes are grown. And Salvatore acted as a nursemaid to his two younger brothers. Nursemaid means
Climbing with the help of your hands.
nursemaid.
Yes.
Huh?
No, scrambling it. I'm telling the meaning of scrambling.
I'm asking the meaning of nursemaid. You're still stuck in scrambling. Scrambling. We reached in nursemaid.
Ma'am, like a babysitter, he used to take care of his younger brothers.
Yes, he used to take care of his younger brothers. He was a kind of a, because his brothers must be too young, so he used to take care of them, right? Take proper care of them. Then he shouted to them to come inshore. Inshore means to come towards the shore, right? Because they were very small kids. So whenever they started moving towards the sea or towards danger, then he used to shout at them to come towards the shore and not to go into the sea. When they ventured out too far and made them dress with it when it was time to climb the hot vine-clad hill for the frugal. For the frugal midday meal means not very rich. See, fishermen, they don't have lavish, right? Yes. Somebody said something. Come again, please.
Sufficient.
Yes, so frugal midday meal they used to take. See, fishermen are not very rich people, right? Who can have a feast every day. So they had frugal midday meal. He shouted to them. Now, what does this show about Salvatore? These lines, go through these lines again. And acted as a nursemaid to his two younger brothers. He shouted to them to come inshore when they ventured out too far. When they ventured out means when they risked too far, and made them dress when it was time to climb the hot. And he made them dress properly when it was time to climb the hot vine-clad hill. So because of the sun in the afternoon, the rocks, they become very hot. So before they climbed the hills to have their meals, he used to dress them properly so that they don't feel hot. What does this show about the character of Salvatore?
Ma'am, he was very caring.
He was like a motherly figure towards it.
Ma'am, he was a caring brother.
Yes. So write down next to this paragraph, please write down, he was a very caring and responsible brother. Because the one important question which can be asked from this chapter is about the characteristic of Salvatore. More or less, this is the only question which can be framed as far as long answer is concerned. So these are the paragraphs which will give you points to write your answer. Clear? So from this paragraph, we come to know, so what you can do is you can quote lines from this, from different paragraphs whenever you are writing about any point. See, this is how you write about a particular character, right? You first write the quality and then you give examples from the text to prove whatever point you have mentioned. Clear? You can't just write Salvatore was a very responsible brother. How? How will the examiner come to know that Salvatore was a responsible brother? Right? So you will have to quote examples from the text to establish what your point, whatever you have written. Okay. Next paragraph. Avisha, you read. Till here, any problem? Any queries? No. Fine. Avisha, you read.
But boys in those southern parts grow apace, and in a little while he was madly in love with a pretty girl who lived on the Grand Marina. She had eyes like forest pool and held herself like a daughter of
Daughter of the Caesars.
Caesars. They were uh, affianced, but they could not marry till Salvatore had done his military service. And when he left the island, which he had never left in his life before, to become a sailor in the navy of King Victor Emmanuel, he wept like a child. It was hard for one who had never been less free than the birds to be at the beck and call of others. It was harder still to live in a battleship with strangers instead of in a little white cottage among the vines. And when he was ashore, to walk in noisy, friendless cities with streets so crowded that he was frightened to cross them. When he had been used to silent paths and the mountains and the sea, I suppose it had never struck him that Ischia,
Ischia.
Ischia
was
which
the
he
name of the
looked
place where he lived, right?
which he looked at every evening. It was like a fairy island in the sunset, to see what weather would be like next day. Or Vesuvius, purely in the dawn, had anything to do with him at all. But when he ceased to have them before his eyes, he realized in some dim fashion that they were as much part of him as his hands and his feet.
Okay,
He
stop,
was
stop. I need to explain. But boys in those southern part grow apace. Apace means they grow very quickly, right? Those southern part, the boys, they become young and grown up too soon. And in a little while, he was madly in love with the pretty girl. And now he also grew up. Now he was a young man. And so what will happen? He will fall in love. So he fell in love with a pretty girl who lived on the Grand Marina. So he fell in love with a girl who lived on Grand Marina. Again, this is the description of the girl. She had eyes like forest pool. Eyes like forest pool means she had beautiful, deep eyes, right? This phrase has been used to describe the beauty of her eyes, and held herself like the daughter of the Caesars. See, daughter of Caesars. Who are Caesars? You must have heard about Julius Caesar, Octavius Caesar, right?
Ma'am, ruler of Rome.
Yes, Caesars were the rulers of Rome, right? So you can say she was a very sophisticated kind of a person, right? She carried herself in a very royal and in a very noble manner. Like a lady, she carried herself. They were affianced, so they were engaged, but they could not marry till Salvatore had done his military service. But they didn't marry, and what was the reason for their not getting married? It was that Salvatore had not yet completed his military service, which was important for him to do. And when he left the island, and then what happened after the engagement? Salvatore left the island, which he had never left in his life before. And this was the first time when he was leaving his island, his home, his parents, his relatives, and the girl whom he loved so much. Right? So he didn't like it. There was a lot of problem in adjusting to the new environment. And when he left the island, which he had never left in his life before, to become a sailor in the navy of King Victor Emmanuel, so this was the name of the king, he wept like a child. Again, which figure of speech has been used? Simile. Simile. Simile is something which you should be able to recognize by now. Right? He wept like a child. Now, what does this show about Salvatore?
He was quite emotional.
He was a very emotional and a very sentimental person, right? Because he started weeping like a child when he was asked to leave his island and the place where he had lived from the time he was born, right? So he became very emotional and he started crying. It was very difficult for him to control his emotions, and he started this phrase, wept like a child. It tells a lot about Salvatore's personality. He was a very sentimental and a very emotional person, right? It was hard for one who had never been less free than the birds to be at the beck and call of others. The beck and call of others means to follow the instructions of someone else, right? Throughout his life, he has lived like a free bird. Nobody was there to give instructions. And you know the life in military. You have to live a very disciplined life, obey the instructions of your seniors. You cannot do anything on your own, right? So it was very difficult for someone, for a person who lived his life like a free bird, to be at the orders and instructions of others. But now when he joined the ship, when he joined the navy of King Victor Emmanuel, there were people to order, to instruct him always. And so he found it very difficult to adjust to his new life. It was harder still to live in the battleship with strangers instead of in a little white cottage among the vines. Till now, he was living on the lap of nature, within a cottage among the vines. And now he was supposed to live in a battleship with all the people whom he was not acquainted with. So they were strangers to him, right? There was no one whom he knew, whom he recognized, or whom he gelled with. And when he was ashore, to walk in noisy. See, till now he had lived on an island. The life on an island in a small village is peaceful. Nature is at its best, right? There is not too much traffic there, right? It's completely different from the life in big cities, big towns and cities, where there are big, huge industries and so much of traffic, so many people living there. In islands, normally the population is also not much, right? Few people live on an island as compared to big cities. So now what happened? Another difference was that whenever he used to walk in noisy, friendless cities because he was not acquainted to anyone. Everyone was a stranger for him. So friendless cities. He didn't have any friends in those cities, with the streets so crowded that he was frightened to cross them. And there was so much traffic on the streets, that he was even scared to cross them. Right? Why scared to cross them? Because he had never been in such an environment. You go from Allahabad to a big city, to a metro, right? You'll find it very difficult to adjust. Even if you have to catch a bus, the bus doesn't even stop. I tell you, when I went to Pune for the first time, the bus never used to stop there. It's always the speed is reduced and then it picks up speed and again goes away. It's an art to catch a bus in metros. Before it stops, it's full and then it leaves. And you'll be standing there wondering what to do now. So this is how the life is. So in big cities. So he was frightened to cross the streets even. When he had gained used to silent paths and the mountains and the sea, because he was used to living in mountains, sea, silent paths, not many people around him. So he was not very happy. This paragraph tells us that he was not very happy with the change which happened in his life. I suppose it had never struck him that Ishkir, which he looked at every evening, it was like a fairy island in the sunset, to see what the weather would be like the next day. or Vesuvius pearly in the dawn. So see, whenever we are in a particular situation, we don't realize the importance of it. Like when you are living in your family, when you are living with your mother, with your parents, you don't realize their importance. How many times do you go and say thank you? Or how many times do you actually realize that they are very important to your life? You even, not you, everyone, right? We even start screaming. If we don't get anything, screaming, shouting, annoyed over every other thing. If we don't get anything which we want, even for food also, we scream so much. Why have you prepared this? I don't like this. When you know that I don't like eating this, why have you given this? I'm not going to eat. But trust me, once you will move out of your house for your further studies, in future, you will miss your home. You will definitely miss the meals which have been cooked by your mother. Then you realize the importance of your home, your family, your surroundings, your neighborhood, your city, right? Because you start missing them. Because that is the place where you have made so many memories. You have spent your childhood. So many years of your life have been spent there. Right? So this is what was something which was happening to Salvatore also. Right? So he had never realized when he was there on his island, he didn't realize the importance of that island. He didn't realize the beauty of that island. Why? Because every day he was seeing the same thing, the same sunset, the same sunrise, the same sea, the same mountains, and everything was same for him when he was on that island. But now when he was in big, noisy cities, then he realized the beauty of his island, the beauty of his hometown. So it was like a fairy island in the sunset, to see what the weather would be like the next day, or Vesuvius pearly in the dawn. So Mount Vesuvius would look pearly in the dawn. Pearly means look like a pearl, right? When the sun's rays, they fall on it, the first rays of the sun, they fall on it, it shines like a pearl. Had anything to do with him at all. So when he was there, he didn't realize that he would ever think of the beauty of all these things. But now when he was far away from his home, he started understanding the importance of those things in his life. See, whenever we are given something, we tend to take those things for granted. Why? Because we are so used to those things, even we take people for granted around us. But once that particular person or that particular thing moves out of our lives, then we realize the importance. Even in friendship also, so many times we take our friends for granted, right? We yell at them, shout at them, fight with them, do everything. But once the friend moves out of your life, then we realize the importance of that friend. Then you are able to see all the good qualities of that friend. Yes or no? But what he ceased to have them before, his eyes had realized in some dim fashion. So he ceased to have them before his eyes. So now those things were not present in front of his eyes. So he realized in some dim fashion that they were as much a part of him as his hands and his feet. So now when those things, they disappeared from his life, then he started realizing the importance of his home, his island, his cottage, his family, and the girl. Right? We'll stop here today and we'll continue further on the next turn. If you have anything to ask,